Hello Airsoft friends, and welcome to this video where I think it's time for me to get even more hidden. You would have seen in a previous video with that short stubby little M4, oh no, continuity now of these videos is starting to become a little bit like the Marvel universe in that things are all over the place, potentially a little bit. For example, that little stubby M4, I have painted that one and it looks really, really cool. However, the video's not gone live yet because I've still yet to edit it at this point. So I'm going to edit that and get that live because it's good for you to see. This, however, today, I'm going to be painting another riff and I'm going to be implementing things that I learned from when I painted the M4 into painting this one, and I may be talking about things that I did to it to teach you, because I did learn things when I painted my little stubby M4, and I'm going to be using those things to paint today my Mark 23. Look at that. Boom. My TM, my black. I've done prep already for it. I've cleaned it all up nicely. I've put some rubbing alcohol on there to make sure there's no dirt or grime or anything like that in the places where I'm going to be painting it, because I'm going to be painting it all over, so it's clean everywhere, apart from in that little crevice, because I don't really care about that crevice, and because it's already black, if it's still black in some few places, that's okay with me. But Shoe, why are you wanting to paint it? Well, it's because I want to be a super sneaky sausage. I want to be able to get ready to shoot at people and make it so that they don't know where I am. Now, this was previously camoed. I wasn't running it in its straight black format. I did have some camo on it, but I felt like it was a little bit too lightly colored for me. And of course, with the season being the season that it is, if I spray paint it, then it's going to make it match even more the local foliage and fauna that's going to be around in play areas. So today, with this one here, I'm going to be giving this a mostly brown base coat. I'm going to give it a couple of splots of green on there, and I'm going to give it a little bit of black like spotting as well over the top, just to help bring that color tone down a bit, because the brown on its own may be a little bit lighter than I would like it to be. So I'm hoping the green will tone it down, and of course, yeah, the black spotting on the top will also darken it up a little bit too, which I'm looking forward to. But what am I going to do differently on this one than I did on the M4? Well, there's only really two main things I feel like I'm going to be doing differently. The first one is I'm going to hang it up when I paint it. So instead of having it just lying down inside a cardboard box, which is what I did before, this time I'm going to put some string around the actual the little connecty bit there between the suppressor and the pistol itself, and I'm going to hang it up from the tree. Yes, I'm going outside to paint it, and I'm going to hang it up from the tree and then kind of spray around to get a nice open covering. I'm not going to worry about taping it up at all. Like I'm not going to purposely spray a ton of paint down into like the behind the triggery bit. It doesn't really matter if paint gets in this area, and if paint's getting these side bits, again, it doesn't really matter anyway. In the side bits, it's actually a little bit dirty too. I can see grease, bits of mud and stuff like that. So even after I have painted and some paint has gone in there, it's not like it's going to be on anything important. It's just going to be on like grease and oil and mud, and that stuff's super easy to wipe down and clear away. So hooray, I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to spray the TDC. I'm going to spray, all the sights are going to spray, although I have Tipp-Ex'd the rear of my iron sights. So if that isn't still visible, then I will re-Tipp-Ex them after the paint has dried. I'm not going to worry about painting like the outer barrel there, or pulling this back and painting around the place, just because these areas you don't see anyway. Of course, the Mark 23 is a non-blowback pistol. Almost hit myself in the face then. Oh god, that was scary. Of course, the Mark 23 is a non-blowback pistol, and so you don't need to really worry about that stuff. So we might as well just go and do it now. So let's get out and do some spraying. We have our Mark 23 hanging up in its space, so he is all ready now to get painted. There is one area which may cause a little bit of an issue, which is where the paracord is attached to the riff, but a little patch there of black is not really going to do a big issue to the paint. Overall, in the end, it's still going to look all right. We're going to be kicking off with the brown first of all, give it a nice light brown undercoat, and then we can do some splotches of green on the top to darken it down afterwards.
We all heard it, something's on.
So that is the first coat of brown on there. We're going to let that dry, and then we're going to come back and start greening it up. It's still a little bit wet, but I'm always a big fan of just getting things done. So we're going to move over to the green now and start adding a bit of colour to this bad boy.
There is still time. Could we just keep riding on?
And that is the green now on. Now it is looking quite light and much lighter than I was expecting it to be. However, the black at the end does take a lot of this lightness down. So we'll give this a few moments to dry off and then we'll get the black on there.
Bring me up higher. Bring me up higher.
After giving it a fair old blow, it is now time for black. And you really do need to be careful with how much black you put on because the smallest amount will bring it down, you know, a fair bit. So I like to do this quite far away, little sprays like that, just to see how that impacts the end look of the spray and then kind of like add accordingly. I do little strong patches of darkness in some areas to try and, you know, break up the silhouette and make it look a bit different. But generally speaking, we want to give it a light kind of almost all over spraying to bring that brightness down. And we're going to give it some special little dark patches too.
We can't stand here, waste it all. Gotta get out there, make it alright. Like we couldn't do last time. Wanna stay.
Now that's done, we just need to wait for this to dry and we can have a little look at the final result.
Who knows when we'll move on?
I have returned, and I must say I'm very happy with these results. Would you like to see what it looks like? Well, let's just have a little sneaky look, shall we? Boom! There we go, look at that. I mean, it does, in the camera, it looks very green, but in real life, it doesn't actually look as green as that. It's definitely like quite army green, but it's also patchy around in areas in terms of like what color you've got where. The black really did bring down the overall brightness of that, which is absolutely perfect. And you can kind of see like around the place there's like a little bit of more patchy darkness here along the suppressor too, up here on the TDC, things like that. And yeah, I'm very happy in the way that that this came out. Here you can see where the paracord was attached to the rift, so I could hang it up and paint it. And there's that little line there, which isn't really like a big issue. But the really cool thing about this is if you look there, see how shiny that is compared to the rest of the rift. The paint is a matte spray paint, so it does, like, you know, it's supposed to stop light from bouncing off it a lot and reflecting a lot. But just from that little bit there, you can see how shiny that is. How much would that more give you away than the rest of the rift now? I mean, you can definitely see light reflection off of this, but this is like a solid white bright light type thing, whereas the rest of it is just like this dull kind of like light reflection. And the difference is ridiculous. Oh my days, look at that. Oh, that looks so good. So yeah, all in all, I'm very happy with that. Let's just give it a cock. Works perfectly fine. There's no paint in there causing issues. We can thumb cock it, and that's fine. And again, you know, also with just the trigger pulls, it works perfectly good. Flip the safety on if I want to. That's fine. Flip the trigger safety on if I want to. And that's fine as well. So everything is functioning as it's supposed to. Now the paints that I used for this, I actually got them from Taiwan Gun. I think they're about £6 each, something like that. So not expensive at all, well within your budget. And yeah, I definitely recommend getting the brown, green and black so you can get a result like this. You could always spray it more to be like a tiger stripe type thing. So I could have gone like a brown, green, brown, green, brown, green, or even just brown, black, brown, black. But I really like the way that, you know, having the brown on there and the green works quite nicely. But without the black, it's way, way, way too bright. So you really do need to have that subtle little overspray of black at the end there just to tone it down. And I managed to keep my little Tipex sighty bits in place too. So now when I want to target acquisition, shoot people, I've still got my sights there. And they look the part. With that little bit there that is shiny, I am going to spray that. I'm just going to get the spray and just quickly around the edges there just to take that off, because yeah, I'm surprised at how much that does make a difference in terms of having that shine, having that brightness, and yeah, that could definitely aid in you getting spotted. Thank you very much for watching this video. As always, it was sponsored by Project Airsoft, so check us out, projectairsoft.co.uk. Tons of accessories and whatnot to help give you a better airsoft experience. Also, you'll find in the description below a load of links to our Amazon affiliate code, so anything you pick up from there, you'll be helping the channel out, and I really appreciate it. Thank you once again for watching. Remember to call your hits, and I'll see you in the next one.